Just waiting for some people to join here, and I'm just going to give you guys an update on everything, just on what's going on. First of all, what a really awesome place I found. Hotwire is amazing. You can get an amazing room for just $40. Pretty cool, huh? Sometimes you get lucky. Like, sometimes I'll do Hotwire, and because this is considered a 2-star hotel, but it's pretty nice. It's actually really nice. I think it's because it's in the port of Miami, so I don't know, maybe it's cheaper over here, but it's really nice for 2 stars. Pretty cool view and everything, too. So here's what we're going to do, okay? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to reassess everything. We're going to slow down, okay? I'm going to set the tone here. I had a really good conversation with a friend of mine, a really good friend of mine. So what I'll do is I'm going to share with you a personal story, okay? This is important. I'm not going to say who the friend is that I talked to, but I'm going to do something very important here because there's a lot of people, I'll get it off my chest, that have been bothering me. There's a lot of people that have been taunting me, so I lash out, okay, and I get mad, and that's what they want, so then they show it on camera and stuff. And I do have an anger problem, okay? So I share a little story with you. I'm not going to say the person's name, but they're a good friend of mine, okay? Very good friend of mine. And so they told me, they were talking to me, and they said, you know, look, I've been following you for a long time. You are on track to be such a successful dog rescuer. You are doing amazing work, and I feel like these people have been antagonizing you on purpose because they want you to fail. They want to screenshot your videos because you have made no mistakes with dogs, and they know it. So the only thing they have against you is when you lash out at them. So I know that's true. So then it's like, well, you're a young guy. I know you make mistakes, but the drama part of it is good. But when you get angry and when you lash out on camera, it's not only going to hurt the dogs, it's going to hurt my life, it's going to hurt my acting career, it's going to hurt my image. So I made a promise, okay? And I'll tell you the story and I'll tell you why, because it's very important. So I have a history of depression, okay? And there was a time when I got so depressed that I had, like, suicidal thoughts. All right, so, you know, sometimes people have that. Sometimes people go through it. You know, I had a divorce. I got really depressed, and I thought there was no hope. I thought that there was nowhere to go in life, and I was thinking thoughts like, hey, you know, if I don't wake up or whatever. So I had a conversation with someone. It was very interesting. It was a friend of mine, and they inquired with me, and they told me that the reason why I start out with that is because this is important, because you have to understand that I've been there, I understand what it's like, I know it's really difficult. It's one of the most difficult things in the world when you have that happen, and you have those thoughts. It's one of the most difficult things to deal with. So this person said, listen, is there some way you can promise me that you'll never lash out on camera again like that? Because it's making you look bad, it's going to hurt your image, and these haters are trying their best to take you down because they know that you're on the road to be one of the most successful dog rescuers ever. And I just said, well, I don't know. That's tough because I get really mad. So then that person told me that story that only a year ago or less, they tried to take their life. So they told me a story. They shared that with me. So, you know, that was interesting, and I listened to the story, and I relate to it because I've been through that. So then I said, okay. And they actually tried it, which is really serious, right? And I said, well, do you feel those thoughts anymore, like today? Do you feel those thoughts? Well, from time to time, they said. Okay. So I said, okay, you know this is going to be difficult for me. You know it's going to be difficult for me, but I'm going to do this, okay? If you promise me that you'll never try that again, for the rest of your life, I'll promise you that I won't bully anyone on camera, and I won't get mad and bully someone on camera, one of the haters. No matter what they say to me in the comments, no matter what they say to me on a live video, I promise not to bully them again and show my anger on camera, on a live video. As long as you promise to never try to take your life again. You have to promise, okay? To promise. Okay. So they said, okay, it was hard, but they promised, okay? So I can't go back on that promise. That's the most serious promise I've ever made, and I can't go back on that. So now if people antagonize me on my live video, I'm not going to say anything. Important it was to them that they don't want to see that anymore, and this is a very, very big supporter of ours. So I needed something serious for me to stop. Sorry, it froze right there. It should work now. So I think it's good. Okay, guys, so whenever somebody pops into the conversation, okay, and you know we have our problems with people, with the haters, okay, I'm not going to be able to say anything. Not going to be able to say anything. Okay? So just follow my lead. Follow my lead. It's not going to be easy for me because I already read comments now from people, and they're just spreading a lot of hate and a lot of false stories about me. So, you know, people are going to pop in, they're going to try to antagonize me. Or I can't say anything. You guys can hear me, right? No sound? No sound? That's weird. Still no sound at all? Is there no sound at all still? No sound? Still no sound. Is there any sound at all? Can you hear me? Okay, good. There's sound. You got this. Okay, so keep in mind it's gonna be hard for me. It's gonna be difficult, but I'm gonna do it. Okay, I can't go on a live video and get involved. Okay, especially after saying that. I want you guys to follow my lead, because I learned down in Miami that things are rolling out of control here with the drama, and when the drama happens, then we just don't focus on the dogs, and we lose our focus. And I'm getting messages from Los Angeles from people, but I want to give you an update when you talk about dogs, right? So Benny had X-rays, and Benny is a very inspiring rescue. I'm gonna make a post after this live video. I'm gonna show you guys. They took his cast off because he does not have a fracture. They proved that with radiographs, and I have a document proving it as well from the vet. So they took his cast off, and he has major rug burn, like from being dragged by the car. So he was definitely hit by a car, and he was dragged. So they just say that the way his wounds look, he was dragged. Just looks like he was dragged. So I'll show you the photos. I have the pictures and stuff. I'm going to post those when I get off this live video. But he was dragged, and it's not good. Poor guy. Um, and he's lucky to be alive. But he's so sweet. I went to see him today, and I'm gonna see him tomorrow. You guys can all see him tomorrow. And he is such a sweetie, and he's coming to California. Isn't that cool? He had full sponsorship, but by an amazing guy named Mike. Okay, all I'm gonna say is Mike. And thank you, Mike, for everything. His care was expensive, because he's got to fly. And yes, he's cleared to fly. Um, I did clear him to fly with the vet. The vet told me that he can fly because he's got to do his treatment. And it's better that he's in a home. And what he's doing right now is they're not giving him a miticide. They're giving him it's approved in 2012 as the safest heartworm treatment that exists, and it's very effective and it's safe. It's safer than the treatment they were going to provide at the shelter because the shelter does miticide injections, and that's not the best way to treat heartworm. In 2012, they came out with new guidelines. So these people are using old guidelines, old things, and my vet showed me the report of the 2012 guidelines, and he is going to be on a 3-month program to get rid of the heartworm. They got to kill the babies first, and then they got to go in and kill the rest. So it takes time, and it's effective, and it's going to work, and yes. So to start out, he will be on his antibiotics. And today I brought Nano in, and I asked what was going on with the nose, and they told me that it could be remnants of the kennel cough that he had, because he had kennel cough, and a lot of dogs from Miami-Dade Shelter have kennel cough. It's going around in there, but it's not an upper respiratory, which is good. So, he's essentially he's being treated, so everything's going good. But one thing I can say is that we're gonna keep everything peaceful. I don't want to get drama away from the dogs. I want the dogs to come first. At the end of the day, I still want to be an exciting rescue. I still want to be a rescue you guys want to watch. But I think one thing we can do is remove the anger, and we can remove the negativity. And we will just allow anyone to investigate us. We'll allow them to do all that with the right proper officials. And then they can just go ahead and do their investigations, and then they're going to find nothing, and then we will just keep it at that. So we need to focus on the dogs. We need to put the dogs first, and we've got crisis going on with dogs. Hi, Becca. I got your message today. Sorry I didn't respond, but I'm so busy. I agree with what you said. So here's the plan, okay? So the plan is I got to get back to LA. I've got a life there. I've got to get my job going. I've got a lot of things I have to do. And we're going to be bringing Nano and Benny to Los Angeles. It's going to be good. And they're going to be in Los Angeles. And I'm really happy. Really happy that they're going to be with us there. I love them very much. Little Tosca is actually going to a forever home here in Florida, and little Tosca will be going to that forever home here. It's a friend of mine that I know who's helping out with that, so it's going to be great. And then also, I need to focus on the dogs I have right now, because what's good is that I was essentially given a donation to come down here, right? And we saved Benny, which is great, and you're going to see the photos. Well worth it. Yes, I tried to save Kathy. Yes, I tried to save Bruno. But at the end of the day, we were part of saving their lives and giving them exposure. Now, we need to all thank the rescues that were involved, because they're the ones who are taking on the workload. If they want help from us, they've proven that they don't, so that's fine. We're going to move along, okay? We're going to move along. We're going to focus on our dogs, okay? Each rescue needs to focus on their own dogs, okay? I've reached out to Bruno's rescue multiple times, and they've refused help, okay? So we are not going to focus on that any longer. It is their responsibility for Bruno. Um, Still responsibility for um, for Bruno, and then we are going to move along. And then here's what's going to happen. It's going to be interesting, okay? So, like I said, I made a promise. I'm not going to be on live videos getting angry. I'm making you guys a promise. I'm not going to respond when they pop in and antagonize me. I'm just going to stay focused, and you guys all know why. And I will say that something interesting and beautiful will happen. And what will happen is that I'm making the decision to stop responding to that stuff, but will they? That's the question. And then we're going to find out who really puts dogs first, aren't we? Right? Because I'm not going to stop saving dogs. That's what I do. I'm a dog rescuer. That's just what I do. I am a dog rescuer through and through. It's just part of my life, right? So that's my focus, and that's our focus, right? Because I don't want to lose any of my supporters. I don't want to lose any of my family here at Urgent Dogs. What's really cool is that I see people defending me. I see people going out of their way to defend me and even write hashtag Team Urgent Dogs of LA. It's so beautiful to see that. And it's so amazing. And people say, hey, I saw him rescue Tosca, and I saw him rescue this dog and Chance, and they provided medical care, and they've done all this. I've seen it happen. I've been there from day one. And it's just so beautiful. So I don't want to let anyone down. Okay, I have a big responsibility. I'm young. Yes, I've made mistakes. But at the end of the day, me going on camera, screaming, angry, yes, it's understandable, but that doesn't mean it's right. So we all make mistakes. So I'm just getting tired of the drama. I'm getting overwhelmed from the drama, and I just can't take it. I just can't. I can't keep it. I can't keep it going. It's vicious. Hatred is vicious. So what I will ask from you guys is, please do the same. So here's what we're gonna do, okay? Please follow my lead. If you guys see any negative comments, feel free to defend me. Feel free to just say, hey, stay in your own lane. That's a good one, right? When you say stay in your own lane, it just means focus on yourself, right? And it means that in a nice way. Stay in your own lane. Or you could say, please focus on your dogs. They need you. That's it. And then if we get well known for saying those things, right, like stay in your own lane, focus on your own dogs, right? Those are good things. Say focus on your own dogs, they need you. Those are good things. And then if they come back and they call you the swear words and they're disrespectful, well, that shows their character, right? And people see that, like donors, for example, like the person who donated for Benny, he gave over $1,000. Okay, for Benny's care. And he said, Johnny, I see what you're doing. I love what you're doing. Just try not to respond to these haters as much. They're trying to provoke you. They're trying to get the worst out in you. I believe in you. I'm going to give you this donation. I'm going to support you for life. You do a great job. I see how you spend your money. I see it. He's like, I trust you. But just don't let them bring you down. You're too young for this. It's going to ruin your career when you get older. And he was joking. He's like, hey, a guy like me, I've been around the block. Trust me, I've been like that. And I always regretted it. So, I don't want to respond to any of this stuff anymore. I learned in Miami on this trip that it's just exhausting. And it's exhausting for not just me. It's exhausting for everybody, right? Because I realized that I could have been focused on so many more things. I got so many messages from Los Angeles about dogs in need that I just didn't even read them. Because I was so focused on reading the hate pages and seeing if they were going to follow me or do this. Sometimes you just got to let things be. Just do the right thing and just let things fall into place, right? Because I'm so thankful that even though I've made my mistakes, we still have a huge support team. We have such a huge support team. I mean, I forget that we have more supporters and love than any of this hatred, right? Okay, so please, if you guys get messages or if you guys come in contact with the hate, just please just don't respond in a negative way. Just say, stay in your own lane, and then say, please focus on your dogs. They need you, right? Because most of the time, the people who are commenting are dog rescuers, right? Now, whatever the reasons are for coming after us, so be it. It's fine. This stuff has existed for a long time. Tell them to stay in their own lane and tell them to focus on their own dogs. I don't want to see you guys getting mad, saying things, telling them to put something where's this or that. Stay in your own lane, focus on your own dogs, and I'm not surprised, Trisha, you say Zach from Marley's Mutts tells them to focus on their rescue. He's been around the block. He knows. He's more experienced than me. Okay, he's been through this. Okay, he's a great guy. He's been through the bullying. He's been through it. They came after him too. It's the same people. Now, who would you guys like to be known as? People who were mature? Because I've made my mistakes. I mean, I've looked foolish. I went on live videos and I've said I'm gonna do this or do that. But it's not too late. We can keep the class, because the amount of dogs that we've saved speaks for itself, and the amount of dogs that we're saving, we don't want to jeopardize all that because of anger or because of just responding in a bad way. The reason why we have so much support is because people see how much we do. That's why they're always shocked when people come out and speak against us, because I'm out here working hard every single day helping the dogs, right? And then I go off and I just spew off hatred on a live video, and then all of a sudden it's just that gets out, it gets taken all away. So look, nobody's perfect. We all need to understand that we all make mistakes, and it's time to be professional. Yeah, it's time to be professional. We can have fun. I'll have fun, I guarantee you. I want to continue to have fun. But what a weight off your shoulders when you just get rid of the anger. Okay, we'll get rid of the anger, we'll have fun. Remember the promise I made, so it's very important. Okay, so whenever I get really mad, for example, I read a comment even before this live video. It was really nasty. It was slanderous. It was really bad. But I'm not gonna get mad. I'm just gonna focus, because we need these dogs to see that they have a chance at life, because there's too many of them in shelters that need us, right? And I'm starting to realize that you guys have to understand that this is new for me, and I've got tons of people all of a sudden watching everything I do in dog rescue, looking to me for either answers or looking to me to mess up, looking for me to show them how to rescue a dog or what we do, because we do it really well. I did not train for this. I did not plan for this, but I just go out and I try to save dogs. I try to keep them safe. I'm not the most experienced guy. That's not true. I can learn a lot of new things, right? So I can learn a lot from rescuers. I wish they would just come to me with advice and tell me things in a nice way instead of coming at me really mean. If I could ask anything, even if haters are watching, if you want to give me advice, please do it nicely. Please tell me why you think I made a mistake, and then just tell me what you think I could do better. And then if I don't respond, I don't respond, but I'll read it, okay? Because I read everything. But please, just if you really care about the dogs, tell me what I did wrong and tell me what I could do right. Because you need to use your experience and your maturity to let me know what I did wrong. So instead of coming at me with threats, with trying to destroy my rescue, because it's just never going to happen. My rescue's going to exist for forever. I mean, my kids will run this one day. I mean, it's gonna go. Okay, it's not going nowhere. So we're getting our 501c. It's gonna be great, and it's gonna be good. So people just need to get used to us. And since that's gonna happen, and we will get our pull rights for county. I'm not gonna focus on city. I'm gonna be focusing on county. I feel like county has more of a need, and I've always thought that. Carson, Downey, Lancaster. These are serious places. And how did I get into dog rescue? Gail, how did I get into dog rescue? I just took my phone and I just literally went to the shelters and started taking videos. That's it. And I came there and I started taking videos, and that's how I got really into the dog rescue. But the first time I ever got into dog rescue was when I was actually in Miami. I was walking, and I noticed there was two dogs, and they were by the highway. One of them was a lab, one of them was a German Shepherd mix. I remember the black lab. And these kids were walking over them, not even giving them the time of day. And that doesn't happen up north. And I was in Miami, I was new here, and they were just walking over the dogs, and they didn't do anything. So I thought, oh my God. So I asked somebody, hey, how long has these dogs been here? Oh, they've been here for weeks. What? How? So then they said, no, they just been here for weeks. The kids just walk over them. Sometimes they throw stuff at them, or some of them feed them. You know, it depends. I was like, wow. So all of a sudden they start crossing the street, and this is a highway area. They're going fast, right? And they start crossing the street, and then I go with them, right? And then we're in the center divider, and I'm standing there with them. And then a cop pulls up. He's like, get out of here. This is dangerous. You shouldn't be here. I'm like, well, what about the dogs? And then the cop says, no, we've got people over here dying. Just get out of here. Don't worry about the dogs. The animal control will come get them. I was like, well, I didn't even know anything about animal control at that time. I didn't know. So then, all of a sudden, I had nowhere to put them. I couldn't bring them home. So I brought them over to a field where they wanted to go. And then I kept coming back, and I was feeding them. I came back for like a week straight, and I just kept feeding them. And they would come, and they would be there, and I started to get attached to them. And then all of a sudden, this car pulls up, and it's animal control. And at this time, I didn't know about dogs. I had no idea how to help a dog. I didn't know what to do with a dog. I didn't know about fosters. I had no resources. I had no idea. So this truck comes up, and I remember how sad the dog looked. He just grabbed the dog, like really quick, and just picked him up fast and just kind of threw him in the truck thing, the animal control truck. And it just felt wrong. And I was like, well, this doesn't seem right. So then I followed where they went because I wanted to know. And then the truck went to Miami-Dade Shelter. So I followed the dogs. So I went in, and the black lab had cancer. So when they came in, the dog was suffering, and I knew that dog wasn't feeling well. That dog was really sick. So they said in the report, hey, the dog has cancer. They euthanized. So I thought, oh my God, that's horrible. And then there was a German Shepherd, and he had this interesting face because he was a German Shepherd, but he had like a bigger head. And then I found out that he was only there for a week or less, and he got euthanized. And I thought to myself, and I didn't know about kill shelters. I had no idea about kill shelters. I didn't know. So then I thought, wait, so why would they kill him if he was healthy? Because the other dog they killed because he was sick. So I said, and at this time I was around, I believe at that time I was 20. I was around 20. And I looked and I thought to myself, why would they kill the German Shepherd, right? And I remember his name was Blake. And I said, why would they kill him? And it was weird. So then, so then I found out they killed him, and I thought, he's healthy. What's the deal? And now I'm 28. But I thought he's healthy. What's the deal? So then I asked. I said, well, do you guys kill dogs here? And they said, well, we euthanize, when they're sick or whatever. And I said, well, why did you euthanize him? Because I brought him in here, and he just, there was nothing wrong with him. Oh, and they said, well, he was an owner. He was brought in, and he didn't have an owner. And, he was on a hold, and then no one came for him, and they euthanized. And I said, what the deal? So I talked to a volunteer, and they said, well, they're killing for space. So I said, well, why? He just came in. She said, well, they don't do it like that. They just randomly choose, and they just kill. And I remember there were 3 to 4 dogs, big dogs, to each kennel. So then the very first dog that I ever featured with my phone, I thought to myself, there's got to be something else there's got to be something else that we can do besides just feel bad. So I got my camera. There was a three-legged dog. Okay, there was a three-legged dog, and it broke my heart because it was a three-legged dog, and I thought, oh my God, people need to see this. So it was a three-legged dog. He was walking around. He was a small dog. I filmed it. That was the first post I ever made about a dog on my Instagram, or my Facebook at the time, I believe. It's my Facebook, I think. And then I posted it, and then all of a sudden, a couple days go by, and I get a message, and it's from a rescue, okay? And they take in disabled dogs that have 3 legs, dogs that have, 3 legs or that have disabilities. So I was like, wait, so what this is the dog, and they asked me for the ID number, and I found it. I didn't know what that was. I gave it to them, and then all of a sudden, I came back, and the dog was gone. And then they messaged me with photos, and they showed me, and they said, here he is. And he was with other dogs, all the other disabled dogs. He was at the rescue. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. This is amazing. So I thought, wow, this is amazing. So that's what got me involved, and that's when I learned that what I can do can help, because I put music to the video, and most people didn't do that. So I put music to it, and I saved that dog with 3 legs. And I thought to myself, wow, there is something I can do. So I just kept going back and going back. I would spend time with the dogs. I would feature the dogs. I would spend time with them. I'd feature them, and then it worked. And at that time, I had like 200 followers. Only like 200. I had like 200 friends on social media. And it still worked. Okay? But anyway, I got in that way, and then I was able to help, and then I realized there is something you could do. Then I came to LA. I got into it a lot deeper after my divorce that I went through at a young age. And then I just was looking to fill a void, and I filled a void, and I found my purpose. I just need to find balance now. So I learned that, wow, there's more you can do. I said, well, what else can I do besides do videos? Oh, well, you can be a rescue. Well, how do you do that? Well, you need a 501c. I was like, crap, I can't afford that. I can't afford that. I just can't, And then I was just like, I can't afford that. But I kept featuring dogs. Right? And I knew I didn't have a 501c, and I knew that I didn't have a way to get a 501c because they're like $1,000 or whatever, and I don't have that money. I didn't have that money. So I keep featuring dogs, and then all of a sudden, people start supporting, and then I started an Instagram. So I started an Instagram, and I said, okay, I'll call it this. So I start the Instagram, and then I call it Urgent Dogs of LA. That's how it started. I just chose that name after Urgent Dogs of Miami. It inspired me for that. And then I thought to myself, okay, Urgent Dogs of LA, let's just keep going. So I threw everything on that Instagram, kept going. And then all of a sudden, a poor family comes in the door and wants to surrender their dog, but they don't want to. They have to. And they were crying. They were bawling it. They were bawling their eyes out. They had to surrender their dog. And I came up to them, and I kneeled down next to them, and I said, what's going on? And they said they were crying. It was a boy and his sister and their dad. And their dad didn't speak English. He's Spanish. He didn't speak English. But the kids did. And I said, well, what's going on? And they said, well, the surgery is like $3,000. We can't afford it, so we have to surrender the dog. So they get in line, to surrender the dogs. And I'm just thinking, there's got to be something we could do. So I call up a friend, and I say, hey, why don't we start a GoFundMe and help with this, okay? What do you think? And that person said, yeah, I'd be willing to do that. I said, well, I've never started a GoFundMe. I don't know how to do it. Do you want to do it? And that woman said yes. So I said, okay. So she did it, and she started it. And all of a sudden, so I told the people, I said, hey, I'll take care of this. I'll take care of it. So Hand and Paw got involved, the rescue. Hand and Paw gets involved, and then they provide the surgery, and then we raise the money. So we raised the $3,000. We gave them the money for the surgery, and then working with Hand and Paw, they gave the dog back to the family because the dog had the broken leg. It was going to get infected, so they jumped in. Hand and Paw did a great job, and then the family got their dog back, and I gave them their dog back on during the holidays, right before Christmas, during the news, on the news, KTLA 5, and then during that news story, my CPA saw that news story, and I never knew who she was. All of a sudden, I get a message. Hi, Johnny. I love what you did. I've never seen someone do that for someone before, like that, with that much generosity, just out of their way. I want to sponsor your 501c. And I want to get you your 501c. And I said, no way. Really? She's like, yeah, I'll pay for it. I said, what? You're going to sponsor my 501c? She said, yeah, I'll sponsor your 501c. I'll do it. I'll do it for you. I said, no way. She's like, yeah. So then all of a sudden, boom, I'm on track to get my 501c, and it's all because I helped a poor family get their dog back. And I thought I could never come up with that kind of money. I could never afford that. And now I'm on track and in process of approval for my 501c. You know, it's a beautiful thing. So, so the cost, Lisa, for a 501c, I did the cost on when I first tried, and I said no because I couldn't afford it, but it was LegalZoom, and they were, I believe it was $900 on LegalZoom for everything, and I just kind of put it off. I can't afford it, and because I gave that poor family the dog back, and I kneeled down that day and I helped them, and I went out of my way to do something nice, someone else went out of their way to do something nice. And now I have an amazing CPA, and we're on our track to be a 501c. It's amazing. So when you do good things happen. So that's why, you know, look, I made the promise. It's a very serious promise. I can't respond to the negativity. I'm just going to read the comments. I read all your comments, and I'm just gonna delete them, the bad ones. I'm just going to delete the haters. I'm going to block them. Okay, so unfortunately, they're not going to see the Johnny show anymore, the Johnny Anger show. It's not going to happen. I made a very important promise I can't break because I've been depressed, and I can't do that. Johnny, how many folks work with you? Good question. I do mainly a lot of it myself, like the featuring the dogs and the getting the dogs rescued and choosing which dogs to help and everything like that. And then I have my roommate who does a lot of work for me. He helps me with transporting and picking up dogs and doing so many things. Keith, he does a great job. I have Gay and Becca as moral support. I've got all of you guys as moral support, so I consider you all part of my team because I'm always on videos, or you guys are there with me saving the dogs. So I consider you guys my moral support, and you keep me going when it gets tough. And I really don't have like an official team. It's just kind of, I'm doing my best, and I'm not really that official yet. Maybe one day we'll build that, and we'll be there. But at the moment, I'm not anywhere near like a Marley Smuts or a New York Bully Crew. I'm not there yet. I want to. That would be amazing, but I'm not there yet. So anyway, guys, at the end of the day, I really don't think anyone wants to hate each other, and I really don't think anyone wants to be mad, and I really don't think anyone wants to fight over things. And I think the most important thing to remember is that any basis that anyone has to be mad at me or thinking that we're doing the wrong thing is only if I ever hurt a dog or I've stolen donations or anything, which I haven't. So one thing I will recommend is please do your research. If you think that I've ever hurt a dog, please search far and wide. Do your own research. Unfortunately, you won't find anything. Thank God. If you feel like I'm using donations improperly or anything like that, please refrain from contacting me and contact the appropriate sources. The IRS or the Attorney General or whoever you have to contact. Please contact them. Do things the right way. Reach out to the right outlets. I welcome any investigation. I've had investigations before, and I've always cleared my name, so you feel free to go there. But please refrain from contacting me personally. I have a personal life that I've been neglecting, and I appreciate when people leave me alone. That are very vicious or have a lot of hatred, because you're bringing out the worst in me, and I'm tired of that. So, I really do think some people just enjoy it, and I really pray for them, and I hope that one day they'll get that hatred out of their heart and they'll stop. And maybe one day they'll feel bad about bringing anger out in a guy who's just trying to live his life, who just wants to help dogs, and has a history of depression, suicidal thoughts, and when you mess with somebody like that, it's not okay. It's not fair. So it's kind of sick. So let's support each other instead. And keep in mind that we have so much support, and it's growing like crazy. And we know that a lot of this stuff isn't going to stop, but that's okay, because it comes with it, because we've got a lot of notoriety, we've got a lot of exposure, and that's what these dogs need, is a lot of exposure. Okay, that's what these dogs need. It's easy to paint me as a bad guy with my anger videos and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, everyone gets mad, everyone gets angry, and we all need to know that people make mistakes, and as long as the dogs are safe and the dogs are doing good, that's what matters. And speaking of that, right now I'm going to be focusing on the dogs. I'm going to do a post right now about Benny. You guys are going to see him with his cast off. It's going to be interesting, and you're going to see how bad that is, but I show you everything. It's not too graphic, but it does show that he was dragged by a car, and it shows that he's gonna be recovering, and he's going to a new life. It's gonna be amazing. It's part of the story, right? You find a dog that's in bad shape, you turn him around. That's what rescues do. So Benny was very, very, very. I mean, for a 11-month-old little guy, he's been through a lot. So it's time for him to have a beautiful life. Now he's gonna be a year, and then he's gonna be cruising. It's gonna be amazing. Okay, he's gonna be doing awesome, and he's gonna be a Los Angeles dog. It's gonna be awesome. Okay, fully sponsored. It's amazing. So Benny's good, and then I'm gonna show you. And then also, let's keep in mind that we all need to support each other. And speaking of me leaving the video up, I think that I could probably do that this time, because, it's interesting. I didn't say anything that would get the video taken down, because I was respectful and I was reasonable. And I think that we shared a lot of good things. And you know what? I will leave this video up. So you guys can comment and talk with each other, and I'll leave this video up, because I have no reason to take it down. Because usually a live video will get blocked if you say anything or whatever. But we're good, and it feels good, right? So I'll leave this up so you guys can talk on it, and you can listen to the story again, and maybe it'll inspire some people, because I think it was a good conversation. So I am a bit overworked. I am a bit overwhelmed. But I do know that we are doing a great thing. So let's all reflect. Let's all just be nice to each other. And let's remember that it's about the dogs, and the dogs need to come first. Thank you so much, guys. I consider you part of my family, and you're part of Team Urgent Dogs of LA. And I wouldn't trade you guys for the world. And let's save some more dogs and stay positive, and keep each other in our prayers, because we are doing amazing things. Thank you.